Hello, okay. So hopefully we got that audio sorted. That's like the worst user interface from OBS. Okay. Okay, so no pre-announcement of this stream again today, just still getting into it while I'm getting my office set up. So still trying to get some of the sound stuff sorted, get the room sorted out, get a bit light in here. It's a bit intense and dark. So I am going to use this opportunity, because I haven't told anyone about it in advance, to kind of prep the next bit of work that I'm going to be doing. And actually, when I first started doing this a few months ago, the streams, I was trying to basically add some features to a multi-step process that we have where users can donate to a charity through the platform. If you haven't watched this before, this is Ruby on Rails streaming, where I stream working on the platform Echo Left that I work on, which is fundraising campaigns and donations and events for good causes. So I was working on those streams, and people can donate to the good causes. And we were changing the way that we process gift aid, which is in the UK, the government will subsidise. If you donate some money to the charity, they will kind of partially match it up to 25%. And so they have a bunch of rules around that, and we need to make some changes. And we were making those changes in the multi-step process. So it's like a user starts the donation, then they have to create an account, do their gift aid stuff, put their credit card details in, or payment, whatever it is. And then at the end, confirm all the details, check it all out and go through. So this is just a series of controllers, and you can go back and check the channel for those, how we do that. So we're making some changes. We were making some changes to their gift aid side of things, and then in the middle of it all, the European Union online payment regulations changed, and Stripe, our payment provider, implemented some new changes around that. That is called SCA, Strong Customer Authentication, I think. And so we had to then implement the new Stripe API, which is the Payment Intents API. And that kind of interrupted the work I was doing on the donation flow. We call them setups, donation flow. And that really kind of stalled my progress a little bit on that. And so I want to return back to that today. So let's take a look at... we're going to take a look at what that looks like. But before we do that, I'm going to show you... I've had an issue when I've been streaming in the past with... I have some user data in the system. And I actually just want to show you how... I think we were able to get around that this time by how we create seed data in our system. I might do another stream about this specifically, because I see this done differently in different places online. So just want to see how we approach it. So I'm just going to wipe our database for now, so that I just drop into PSQL and drop the database. I think rake db drop will do the same thing. Not sure why I do it in PSQL. Okay, so let me move this up. Hello, by the way, to everyone who has watched so far. I really appreciate people giving me feedback and stuff. It's been really useful. So I hope you're having a good evening or daytime. Like I said, I haven't told anyone I'm going to be doing this, so I'm guessing most people are watching this probably at work when they should be doing something else. So we have, so we can do, I think, I haven't actually done this for a while. I've been working on a clone of production for a little while. So we can do bin rails db create. So that's created that. So we can then do db schema load, which will load up our database file. Great. And then we can do, now I think we still do have, do we still have normal seeds? Yeah, we do. So you can see we have just dummy database users and stuff. We use Faker in here a lot. just simple passwords, just for testing stuff locally. But I think our scenarios don't even need these seeds. I'm not sure there's anything in here that's vital. But let me, is it RicDB seed or seeds, plural? Okay, so hopefully I've got my font sizes back up again. Let me just do, I think it's that one. So hopefully you guys should be able to see. So you can see a bunch of junk has just gone into, oh, it's still going in. Oh my God, it's still happening. I am not sure that that's what I meant to do. And the reason for that is what we have is these thing called scenarios. So in lib seeds, we create these like this kind of seeds user seed, and we treat it a little bit, if you've used FactoryBot at all, we treat it a little bit like that, where it has this idea of traits, and there are traits that you can, if we look at this. So this is our base for our seeds. This is all just for local development stuff. So we don't, actually we do use these on our review apps in Heroku, which is like staging apps. So you can basically assign traits that you want to appear on the seed. And so for our user seed, for example, we have implement Juno. We mentioned before that our namespacing uses Juno and Hera as like the admin and super admin kind of roles. It's kind of abstract naming. So implement confirmed would just set a confirmed app for device, things like that. So what has seeds done that loads seed scenarios? So if we look at, that's probably going to have a bunch of API keys that I don't really want to open up. So let me just go and open that on another screen real quick. It's bound to open on here. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Okay, so we do. So this is our app.json file, which is when you use Heroku as your hosting platform, you can use an app.json file along with the review apps feature, and you basically define a bunch of stuff in this script. And when you push a branch to GitHub and make a pull request, it will create a review app. So it'll basically make a full staging environment based on the rules that you provide here. And once that's deployed, it will then run it will run whatever rake task you give it. In fact, it'll run anything. So we tell it to do RakeDB schema load, which is what I was just doing in the console. RakeDB seed, so it does populate the seed data. It publishes the DNS data, which I don't need to worry about now. And it does this last one, which I'm going to run as well. So we can do bin. Rails, as of Rails 5, Rails is a synonym for rake, as I understand it, so you don't need to do rake. Rails will do everything. So this should now build a bunch of data, and it's going to do it based on, we have like I showed you, we have seeds for each of the major core objects we want to seed in here, and then in our rake tasks, we have load seed scenarios. And so that's actually what loading that looks like. So we say, go and load the hero users, the demo charity, they've got a superhero campaign, a memorial for John Smith, and we can just keep, and then we can scenario.generate is the API that we give those scenario files. So in here, you can see the corresponding file. So these are the seeds, these are the scenarios, and then we have like persona, actually we're not using personas at the moment, so these are the scenarios. So this is the campaign, for example. And you just can go through and kind of pre-populate a bunch of data, but it puts it all in one place for you. So then we have a .generate, and we don't generate the same data twice, although sometimes we do. It's it's kind of straightforward. So I thought that I've seen people do that different ways. I'd be interested to see how other people do that. I might do like a specific stream about that and kind of promote it a bit and see if people have feedback about that, because I'd just be interested to know. It seems to work for us okay. If anyone thinks that's crazy, then I'd love to know. I'm guessing some people do, like, to make it faster, they would do something like fixtures where they put everything in one huge SQL file, but I really want the data to be valid, so we tend to use Rails. It is a little bit slower, I guess, but we tend to use Rails. Anyway, so now we have a bunch of seed data. That was what that was all for. And so if we run our server, we should now be able to go to our local environment. Let me get this. Okay, so let's log in as our test user. Great. And we can go to see the organizations that are available. And so these are the ones that were created. So we saw demo organization was being created in there, and that's the one we're going to use for today. So we can check that out. So that was all of these were generated. So actually these random ones were generated by the seed data. That's why they give rubbish names. The idea, that was actually, so the seeds were basically like, they worked enough, but I kept just doing like quick things like incrementally naming things. So when we put seeds in place, it was to try and make that actually more useful, make it so that people actually wanted to view that data. Okay, so this isn't working. Let's just see. Oh, there we go. It's just taking a while. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. So anyone that was watching the other streams will be familiar with this. This is actually not changed. It's actually all the new payment stuff has a feature flag. Around it. Actually, don't need these in because I'm not listening to anything in them. Although it does block out that fan noise. Sorry about the fan, by the way. That's my MacBook when it's streaming just goes straight up bonkers. I can't really do a lot about the sound. Okay, so let's, if I pull this mic just ever so slightly further away from the fan, maybe that will help. Okay, so let's go through this. So the issue we have at the moment, I'm actually going to add that feature flag to myself now. Don't worry too much about the context of what I'm about to do. So we implemented the new Stripe Payment Intents API, and I've just moved the mic covering my keyboard. I'm gonna have to move you back. I hope the fan noise isn't too bad. Hang on a second, bear with me. Okay, so we have this feature flag. So we're implementing, sorry, I totally got distracted. So we were implementing the new Stripe API, and we needed to try it out alongside our existing implementation. So we put a feature flag on the user, payment_v2, and we're then able to toggle it on a per user basis. So as that is the flow that we want to change, I'm going to put this flag on the user that I'm logged into now. And so that means I just need some data in here because I don't really care about what it is. That means that this should use, because I've just put that feature flag, this should be the payment method manager component. Yeah. So we have the old version that we had was the payment. I think it was just called the payment manager. And then in the new Stripe Intents API, you work on payment methods, and then you create a payment intent. There's a lot of specific wording. You create a payment intent, and you attach a payment method, and then you confirm that, and you do that through the payment action on the front end. It's if you're in the US and you're using the Stripe API and you're still using the token and charge APIs, they are so much simpler, like wildly simpler. The kind of it's not just a complexity, but like you have to. They recommend using a webhook for the confirmation rather than just waiting for the charge to come back. It's just such it's so annoying. But I mean, it's great that when the SCA, the kind of two-factor for customers rolls out, it'll be great. But it was a lot of work. In fact, I'll show you what that looks like. So Stripe card testing numbers. We want the testing payments for SCA. And we want the one that has 155 in it, because that's the one I know. So, oops, I did not mean to click that. No, go back. Go back. Damn it. So, 155. So you can see here, this requires authentication for one-time payments. Stripe dynamically determines when a particular transaction requires authentication due to regional regulations, such as strong customer authentication. So if you're watching in the US, or outside the EEA, the EEC, the European Economic Area, is that right? You don't need to worry about that as much. Although, if your customers are in the EEA, you might have a problem. So, just put some stuff in there. And this is the flow as it is now. So that takes us through. Oh, I need to put some. Why is that not going through? Oh, well, I'm glad this is behind a feature flag, because that has just failed. I am hoping it's because that API for that organization isn't working. What's the console saying? Okay. What's this doing? Responses undefined. Handled Stripe payment method to create error. Sounds good. It sounds like it should be handling the error. I mean, it's really named well. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that the error. Oh, it's our own API. That's fun. Invalid positive integer for create payment intent. Okay, this isn't what we're looking at today, but okay, we've bumped into this, so that's fun. It's not fun. Don't want to do this right now. That is create payment intent. At payment dot amount of. Oh, is it? Okay. Is it because I put the feature flag on once we'd started? That could. That might have just. I might have thought that too clever. So let's do that again with another one. Let's just see if this happens now. Test. Oh no, that really has failed. Okay, well, let's take a look. while we're here, now we're doing just some debugging of a feature branch. Sorry, something behind a feature flag. So the donation run is 12. And that should have a payment. And that amount is nil. Okay. That would explain that. So let's go see where that donation was created. See, this is the problem. I got derailed. It's called like set up paymentable. So I think that happens. Happen in the donations control after create. Okay, you're watching me try and remember in real time how this works. Do we do it on the first? Set up as paymentable. There we go. Set up paymentable. Did this not work? So I don't think I'm doing anything with this yet. That is, nothing is happening with that. I'm not even checking that. So let's just, oh, we're assigning them to the donation. Okay, so do we do anything with those yet? Because this isn't for all users. This is the wrong one. It's this one. So let's put it nice and big and say, show me spit them out and see what's there. That has just got the object in it. Okay, so is it hitting that? Yes. So when the payment is set up, the donor. Oh, is it because? I'm jumping back and forth because I'm just refreshing the browser. It's £10, so it knows what to do. Okay, so is this not yet setting the amount of the payment? That would seem. Doesn't build payment do that? Payment attributes. Yeah, don't they Doesn't that come from those which come from this? Ta-da! That should be... And then when we went into the donation payment, it was version 2, so it knows that that's right. On the amount in pennies, oh, the amount is there, but it's the amount that's not there? Oh, okay, I've misread that. So, okay, with the amount in pennies, that's the Rails money version. Okay, maybe I'm way off on what this error was then. Okay. Still not quite over the fact that everyone watching this is probably like screaming how obvious these things are sometimes. Invalid positive integer. Okay, what is it then? It's 1,000. Valid positive integer. Is it that? Okay. Does that have to not be nil? Not be 0, sorry? Oh. That totally worked. Okay, so the application fee amount can't be 0? That doesn't sound right. How do you make them free? It's not on the charge object, it's on here. Oh, is it optional? And if it's not there, don't pass it, basically? Oh, damn it. So that's... ooh. Damn, Command F on the Stripe website is fancy. What am I on the charge object? Create payment. Here we go. That's pretty damn cool. The amount of the application fee, if any, that will be applied to the payment and transfer to the application. For more information, see payment attempts used for connected accounts. So it says optional, so presumably it's nil or 0. Don't pass 0. Okay, that's... Okay, sure. Wow, okay. That's useful to know that we need to change. I guess we change the calculated application fee, but that's designed to bring back a money object. So that's super annoying. We actually need like another method on the payment or something like that, because the dot fractional is for the money object. So money rails, when you bring back a money object, you get, I think the dot fractional is just like, it would be 10, like 1,000 for £10. I think it's just the number of pennies, or cents, or whatever your unit is. Okay, so let's just put an application fee on that organization for now. That will just solve that problem. Okay, that's super annoying. So let's put okay, so that was a massive detour from what we were supposed to be doing. So let's get rid of that. We can get rid of most of this junk. That I want to come back to. That could go. I also need to deal later on with the fact that we didn't get a proper error message for that in the payment method controller manager. Okay, so let's start. Actually, that should work. So if we change the payment method, that should delete that one. Let's do that again. So now, because we've added the rate, oh, there we go. It's just taking a little while. Okay, so continue to the next step. Okay, so this is actually where I wanted to get to. So at this moment here, we want to go into here. So this is our administration area. So users don't see this bit. This is just my kind of development admin area. So in here, we want to come in and put in charity. And we also want to go in and add in the gift aid wording, the old version. Oh, there should be. No, there's already a default. We don't need to add that in. What's gift aid? Gift aid donation. Just gonna put that on there for all of them for now. Cool. So now if I refresh this, that was just an internal setting so that we get yield. Oh, is that what I have taken out here? Oh, god damn, this font size is huge. So that's personal details organization setup. Ah, okay, this is where it was pulled out. Okay, great. So if we were on not behind our feature flag, this is where we would be asked about our gift aid. And that's actually the problem, because this is actually what I wanted to take a look at. We are 33 minutes into this and I'm only just taking a look at the right thing. So in the previous version of Stripe and our implementation of the token and charges API, the charges API, we were, when you click the button, we were posting back to the server, and we were then doing all of the work around the charge on the server and then bringing the user back true or false. So we could also update the donation object during that process. Now the confirm payment button is a client side, and this is why, because this needs to be able to pop up the experience that Stripe now controls for 3D Secure, SCA, that kind of second step where basically a bank or whoever the user is paying in the UI, in the client, needs to pop up some sort of interface. So you can see that Stripe in here have filled in their dummy one, but in the real world that will be whatever your bank is doing, and you will need to get a text message or open your app or do whatever it is that you need to do. And when you complete or fail this, the pass or fail will come back to your, in our case, a React Elements component, and you get back the pass or fail there. But because it's client side, Stripe recommend using a webhook to actually trigger the fulfillment of the thing that is being purchased. So that is what we do. And as such, when you complete the authentication, we will then pass you through to the thank you. But that donation has not actually been marked as, that donation has not actually been marked as completed on our system. We don't mark it as completed until the webhook comes back, and that won't happen at the moment because I don't have my UltraHook turned on to do that. So that in our admin area, that will still be marked as pending or whatever state it goes into before that. So that's annoying, and what it means is that we have several options for the two fields that were removed from the, so if I go into an incognito mode, I'll show you the other version of that. So let's just go here. This is decaf, by the way, it's late here. It's been a long day. So let's be test, don't care about any real data. £1, test, whatever. Oops. So confirm that over. Yeah, great. Test. So this user, I've just created a new user because they don't then have. Well, that's where I want to put it. So let's just. That is this code over here. So that's a little test for me. That won't actually do anything. Ignore that. So this is the old. It looks identical, but it's the old Stripe implementation. So this will create a token. It won't create a payment method. And when we go to here, you'll see we now have two options. I'm eligible for gift aid. That won't just say I am eligible for gift aid. Organizations can put in their own gift aid declaration. So this is just the empty state for that, just a true or false. But in production, it says whatever the organization needs it to say for their compliance. And there are also a couple of live streams on my channel for some work on that. So I've been making playlists at the moment for some of these videos, so hopefully I can group them together if you're interested in any of this stuff specifically. So now we, on this version behind here, if I go to the completion step here, don't have a keyboard shortcut yet for that one. Ah, no. Trying to move too quickly. So on this one, on the right is the original one with the 2 extra fields. And this is a submit button. It takes us back to the server. And this is the client side thing. Now this is where I got caught out because I was in the process of moving the gift aid from this final step right up to the second step in the process. And the anonymous field, in my opinion, can kind of go with it. We can ask them all those questions in the same place. So I have a couple of options to make this work because I'm not rolling out the new changes in the donation setup until all of the Stripe SCA payment intents API has been rolled out. So I am going to take a look at how I approached this. I might even actually go back and watch that live stream because it was such a long time ago. And I'm just looking at there was a branch that got stopped because it had, here we go. So that is all the payment stuff, so I don't really care about that. This is where, so that's changing the data structures for gift aid. That's all boring, that's all unrelated. Somewhere in here, oh, hang on, I jumped. Oh, SourceTree does this to me all the time. You're looking at something and it will jump you up based on where you selected. It's so annoying. Okay, so this is where I was actually doing it. Okay, so so this is the migration that then got moved to us. So all that's on production. We have the data up there, but we don't have the new steps. Now this is really unusual. I don't tend to work like this. This is making these really long branches. This is actually not going to get merged because I've kind of cherry picked stuff out and made it small. That's why like the migration is already up on production. Because this got too long. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. This is prepping for the gift aid stuff. Fine, fine, fine. Where is the bit where I... Here. Added the extra step to the setup for gift aid. And so we added in, that's what I want to look at. So in our base controllers for our setups, our multi-step, we added in a step for gift aid declarations. Now, did that end up being one step or two? Because this is one of the ones I live streamed. So basically I was working out, we store them as JSON, I think, because they can have, I remember I mentioned earlier, you can have, organizations can enter their own declarations. Well, at the moment that's just stored as one thing, one string. And so that data model is changing to allow them to enter multiple declarations, and each one gets turned into a checkbox that the user has to agree to. And we also then store the actual wording, and it's so that they might change just one, they might have 3 sentences they need the user to agree to, but they change one of them, and we want to have a snapshot of the exact wording that that user had, and have them tick 3 times rather than 1 time. Rather than having 1 tick box, 3 paragraphs, it's now 3 paragraphs, 3 tick boxes for each one. So that's why there's a change. So what we want to do is move these fields from the old one here, and we want to create this new step. But we don't yet have on production everything we need to do all of this work to roll it out and swap the gift aid implementations, because we'd have to change all the emails and all that other stuff, which is all in here. So I just want to do this one step. And what I want to do, the reason that I was hoping to do a quick stream to see if I could get this working, was to say, can we get oh, I'm just aware that that font might be really, I don't have a way to change that font size. Sorry, it's it might be small in SourceTree. Yeah, sorry, but I mean, it doesn't really, I'm not looking at the specific code. I'm just trying to go back and show you what I was trying to reproduce. So there is only one, there's just gift aid declarations. And then personal details will be where their address stuff will be done, and then we can adapt the address whether they need that or not. Okay, so what I'm wondering is if tomorrow we can do the whole lot. Like if I didn't do this small step now, and we just agreed to get the whole of the new gift aid stuff, because it almost got done on that pull request before the SCA implementation. The problem, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot again by making one really large feature change when several smaller ones would do. But I think I've already done the work. I think it's just a case of rolling it all up. Also, could we... trouble is I can't feature flag it because I need the declaration in the process. I need the gift aid step in there. Oh, but we can feature flag it, because if you're not behind the Stripe feature flag, you get it on the old, but you get the old version. Okay. I think that's what I'm going to try and do. I think that because I've got these here and it doesn't look huge, so these 2 commits. I'm looking for the words gift aid in these. Oh, okay. Gift aid detail. Oh, okay. So, okay. This is the other thing I was looking for. Okay. Okay. So I did do more. So the other one had the gift aid declarations controller added. This one has gift aid details as well. So there was more. I knew there was something in there. I hate these long feature branches because you just can't hold all that in your head. There's like a nagging memory. I just stupid that it got this long. I didn't have a clear seam in my mind as to where to chop the work up, and because I'd started the branch to work on the donation setup. I was like, oh, cool. Well, the payment stuff won't be that much work. I'll just slot it in here. And then that was just stupid. That was not correct at all. Okay. So there are 2 extra controllers, 2 extra steps being added to the donation setup. So when you go into here, oh no. Okay, but that does seem to have everything in it. And I've already rolled out the payment stuff behind the feature flag. Because my other option, because all I'm really trying to do is just swap out 2 attributes that are being changed when we call back to the server to update this donation. So I could just make them, a quick fix could be to make them just Ajax call back to the server just to update it quickly. But this is all kind of been just rumbling on for a little while, so I'm keen to just get the whole lot done over the next few days, really, just to try and get it rounded up. Because all the UI needs tidying up. It's just a mess at the moment. So it'd be good to get onto like polishing it. So I'm tempted to say let's tomorrow. Is that even an option that I have? Friday. So tomorrow or Friday we could probably blast this out, I think. All right, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So this can be the preamble stream. So if you're watching this, you now have to watch the second one just to see what I got done to cherry pick those 2. And then tomorrow, maybe we'll do it in 2 bits because we've got some time tomorrow. Let's try and get the gift aid stuff transitioned over to the new data structure and get the new steps in. So this is address, payment details, review and confirm. We'll have these 2 new steps, gift aid and gift aid details. And then they are obviously dependent on whether the organization is gift aidable. So there's a bunch of crap in there. And once that's done, these 2 are gone. So we're no longer changing anything about the donation on this screen. So it doesn't matter that this is client side and we don't have to do any JavaScripty stuff. We can just have one single confirm button and we can let the SCA stuff do as it will. Yeah. Okay, because it's kind of interesting because I've been debating about having because in reality we do it as a multi-step process, but only for semantics. Like we could have one page where we just interact with via the API or one React component, but that stuff just gets so, I don't know, I find myself looking at a lot of broken JavaScript pages. So the more I can just render out in Rails quickly, I think that I personally, kind of making assumptions, but we have a really high success rate and just don't get feedback that oh, I wish I could have done this on one page. It doesn't really seem to be a huge issue. If you're one of our users and you're looking at this, then let me know. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I probably will promote the one tomorrow, so this can be the preamble. Thank you for watching if you spent any time watching this. And hopefully we can get some more done tomorrow. But you saw me debugging the Stripe doesn't let you have 0 Stripe application fees, which I didn't know, and kind of saw me put together the preamble for this. So have great evenings or days wherever you are in the world, and let's smash into it tomorrow, and we'll get a whole feature rolled out. All right, have a good day, guys.